Hello, bonjour. So happy to have you with me today again. That's just wonderful. Today we'll touch a subject that our food is the basic of us being healthy or not. Really, this one will really drive the nail into wherever place it needs to be driven so that you understand what's going on. So we'll talk about there is the acidic forming foods and there is the alkaline forming foods. So to optimize our health, it's very simple. Really, you just have to look at nature, as simple as that. So don't we, like, we have plants at home. Don't we make sure that our plants have the proper soil according to the plant, that we wish to grow? That, of course, we have the right nutrients, we water it as it should, we put it in the light as it should be, like the type of light for that type of plants. What I'm saying is the plant that we have, we looked at the, what's required for it to grow. Anyone who had or has an aquarium, you very well know that the importance of the pH in the water. So, I mean, if it's not what it should be, your fish just dies. And I guess I've done that myself. I had an aquarium and, learning the things. And, I mean, when I found, one of my fish floating at the top, we just saw at the bottom of the tank, it was so sad, so sad. And also we keep the water clean because again, for them, it's so. Think of nature. Don't we make sure that our pets, we give them the proper food? And if we don't, we certainly pay the price, thousands of dollars at the vet to have them, look at what's going on with their intestine. They're not, digesting well, and their skin is all drying up, and with their teeth. I mean, we pay the price when we don't feed them well. I remember my dog. I had a German Shepherd Husky, a cross, beautiful dog, Suki. Suki was a lovely dog, and I had her from the vet. She was at the vet, so I adopted her from there. So of course I got the food from there. And 6 months down the road, our anal glands would pop out. So I would go to the vet, and they would, empty the anal glands and do the procedure to have it pushed back in. And then I asked the vet, I said, well, is that supposed to be this way? And he goes, well, some dogs have that problem, and yes, and you have to come and whatnot. It didn't make sense to me. It just didn't make sense to me. So what I did is I started to research, and you can feed your pets raw food, which I did for Suki, and it resolved all the problems, night and day, and never had that problem ever after. Didn't have to go to the vet for that reason and pay, like I said, $800 every time, like every 3 months or so. So when, we feed our animal the proper food. So what happened with us? How do we think that we can eat unhealthy food and there be no repercussion on how we feel, how we age, how we perform? Just like I was explaining for the dog, the fish, and the plants. We do it for them. We don't do it for us. What's going on? And sometimes for our children, I mean, I don't want to, make you feel guilty here, but I remember myself, I didn't know any better. And I used to go to Costco. I live in Canada. I used to go to Costco and buy those golden fish. I mean, it's full of fat, sugar, food colorant, salt, the worst ever. I didn't know. So, today you're finding out what you should be doing. So after that, it's really in your hands to make the decision to make a change, but that it's not healthy. So how come we do that? Is it that we believe that our government Ministry of Health authorizes only healthy food on our grocery shelves? I mean, if you look at what's on the shelves, then you just read the packaging and that gives you an idea there, right? Gives you a clue that that might not be the situation. Is that we turn a blind eye on what we truly know isn't good for us? Like we know it's not, but we still do that? So is it like we, what's happening there that we choose to not eat healthy? Is it that we're not aware of the manipulation of the food industry that creates food that has a bliss point? And the bliss point, that's the main ingredients in the food that they create. And the bliss point is a certain amount of fat, sugar, and salt that creates this addiction. But it's not healthy, right? Then you open a bag of cookie, you're gonna eat two, you eat the whole bag. Chips, you eat the whole bag. That's not healthy. So is it that we're seduced by marketing? I mean, they're so clever, right? They put that packaging that is, you just want to buy it for the packaging. It's inviting. The marketing that they make, how they present, how they market their product. I haven't been listening to TV for the longest time, but anyway, we have it online now. We're bombarded by there as well with the marketing. So is it that the packaging, the marketing is to the point of not considering our own judgment for what's good for us? We know what's good for us, or do we? Let me give you a crash course to drastically improve your health, and immediately, like it'll be night and day. So tell me, who owns an acidic forming food and alkaline forming food chart? Who owns that? I really see when I go to friends and walk in their home that, there's this chart that is there in full view, like on the fridge, for example, and that you can refer to, remind yourself of what is alkaline and what is acidic. So acidic forming food, and then let me just, I'm not going to jump here, I'll continue. So what I'll do is I found this beautiful chart. It's from Dr. Russell Jaffe, Jaffe, and I'll give you, so I'll send you that chart. So you'll see at the end, you'll have my email address, and then you can send me an email and I can send you the chart. If you go as well on my page in Win-Win Woman, my contact information is there as well. So you can send me an email and I'll send you the chart. I will send you also another document that is by the NOVA food classification. And that NOVA food classification talks about the level of food. I spoke about that in previous presentation, and that's basically what it is. Your level 1 is food that will be alkaline forming, and your other levels below will be acidic forming. And guess what? Yes, the food that I create is alkaline forming. Of course it is. That's how I resolved all my issues and issues for my children, their health issues. Another aspect, another aspect to consider is, so there's a food that we eat, but then when we don't feel healthy or something, we want to go see a doctor. So I'm asking you to consider search for a functional medicine doctor. And why is that? Because they also consider that food is your fuel, and your food choices, listen to this, will heal or kill you. It kills you maybe slowly, but in the end, all those illnesses that pop up and those medication you must take is part of you not being healthy. So you don't age gracefully, you don't age with energy, you don't age and be totally less than 100%, 50%, 40%, and then you just suffer till you pass. That's pretty bad as a thinking of what could happen down the road. So back now to acidic and alkaline forming foods. So the acidic forming foods lead to many forms of chronic inflammation, aches, pain, headaches, high blood pressure, arthritis, osteoporosis, gingivitis, psoriasis, eczema, acne, fatigue, anxiety, bloating, heartburn, weight gain, diabetes, and many more illnesses. That's what happened with the acidic forming food. And you see, well, you know my story of the arthritis, and that's what happened. You know, when I was told that certain food were acidic, I stopped. I switched to I stopped. Yes, that was early 2000, and it was less painful, but I was still in pain and incapacitated. But when I switched to living cuisine, vanished. I never came back. So again, what happens is our microbiome is like an internal pharmacy. It has a very simple recipe in order to make the proper medication we need to remain healthy. It's as simple as that. Fiber, resistant starch, and water. That equals our health. Fiber is in all the legumes, the vegetables, the nuts, the seeds, seaweed. Again, that's the food that I suggest for you to eat. That's what I teach to eat. That's what I eat. And that's why I don't have any health issues whatsoever. I'm 64 now, and I'm getting better and better as I'm aging. It literally, so when we eat something that isn't supporting our body, it literally, our biome literally dies when it's attacked by pesticides, herbicide, fungicide, growth regulator, processed refined foods, antibiotics, chemicals on our skin, because our skin is our biggest organ of our body. What you put on your skin, on your face, on your lips, you know, that lipstick on your face, the makeup, shampoo, soap, what you wash your clothes with, and then, you know, you're sleeping in those bed sheets. It just travels, the smell travels, it affects you. Especially when you think, I mean, if some of you run into issues with your children, issues of eczema, which we see now more and more, unfortunately, look at all of that. Look at all, having only organic everything, organic food, of course, but organic everything else. The bed sheet they sleep, and then the laundry detergent you use, the soap, the shampoo, everything organic. Simple as that. Your microbiome otherwise is depleted. So, you know, and there you go. The microbiome of our body, I can do a parallel with the microbiome in the soil. And that was also in one of my presentations, I talked about that. The microorganism in the soil, why we're losing topsoil, why we're losing food is grown and they say it has way less minerals, way less vitamins, way less nutrients than it used to have. It's because if it is cultivated conventionally, using what I was mentioning earlier, pesticides, herbicide, growth regulator, and all sorts of chemical, the microorganism in the soil get destroyed. So no microorganism in the soil, then the soil isn't healthy to grow a healthy plant. No microbes in our body is not capable of keeping us healthy, just like the microorganism in the soil. So as simple as that. And our body are so resilient. I mean, when I look at it, look at me. Like I said, I'm now 64. I started arthritis at 45. It reversed it. Well, it reversed it. It stopped it. Of course, you look at my hands and you go, well, you know, you've got it. Yes, I had arthritis, but I don't have the incapacity. I don't have the pain. As you know, someone who has arthritis, they can't do that, right? They all swollen and they, you know, barely. I remember my mom, I had to, you know, go like this quite a few times and eventually grab her coffee cup to be able to drink because she just couldn't. The strength is gone. It's horrible. It's terrible. And it's caused by food. So, so it's, you know, you have the answer. Every day you put the answer on your plate. Every day you put the answer to your health on your plate. Imagine that. And to your children as well, of course. So where are we now? I talked about that. So our body is designed to keep us healthy. And like I was saying, our microbiomes create the exact medication to keep us healthy. It has the exact dose that is unique to us, to our body, to readjust and, redesign this and that, put this gene dormant, like in my case, arthritis, and then activate this one, and so we are healthy. Our microbiome is that. It's our own inner healing power, and we all have it. I'm not special. I'm not different. I'm not a one of a kind. We all have it. I remember a friend saying this to me: "You're not human." Of course, I am human. Acidic food, you should be aware, it includes the refined sugar, the processed food, the fresh and processed meat, fried food, carbonated beverages, and dairy products. That's, generalization of the acidic forming food. And on the other hand, the alkaline forming foods assist, as I was saying, our bodily system to absorb minerals and other nutrients. And that's how we become healthy. They support the energy productions in cell and have the ability to repair damaged cell and detoxify heavy metals. Listen to that. Alkaline forming food are our insurance for a long, healthy life. I'm living that. I can tell you, it's 19 years, it's been my life. And include fruits, vegetables, leafy greens, legume, nuts, seeds, seaweed, sprouts. You see where I'm going with this. So how would I suggest you do is that today you start cleaning your cupboard and make sure you complete that task within a week. Like, start today, complete within a week, do it. And then be careful to consider to eating what's not good for you instead of eliminating. Just like money-wise, you go, well, I paid for that food. Well, if you choose the money instead of investing in your health, that will cost you more. You know what I'm saying? It will cost you more. So careful with that. Can you buy your health? Yes, you can actually. You can buy your way through health by investing in healthy choices. Start today, as I said. I know. You might say, oh, it's too hard to change my habits and my family's habits. Then for you, make a list of the effects that unhealthy food has on you and invite your family to do the same. You make a list. You know what's painful? What you eat something, but then, because here you go. So the problem is that when you eat that cake that you look at and you go, I really want to eat that cake. It's so good. So at the moment you're eating it, it is good. But, few days down the road, few weeks down the road, you gain weight for one thing, and then you don't feel so good. Even, for some, you eat the cake and after you kind of go, oh, you don't, digestion is not good, and you break out, and it just shows, your body it's trying to tell you, don't do this to me. And so write a list of the awful things that happens when you eat something that is unhealthy. And so just so you know that unhealthy consequences also has a consequence in your life, in our environment, and our ecosystem. Because what you eat comes from being cultivated out there, produced out there, right? And it affects everyone. In the end, our ecosystem, our planet affects everyone. Animal products are acidic forming foods. Sorry to break that news. You might want to keep eating it, but that's what it is. It simply is a fact. And that was the first thing that I caught when I had arthritis back early 2000 between the living cuisine. It helped certainly to reduce my arthritis. And then the living cuisine totally got rid of it. And you might not listen, you might not know, but we're chopping down our forests to create pastures for livestock. When that same land create 30 times more food, what are we thinking? If growing vegetables, legume, fruits, nuts, and seed represent a 3,000% decrease in cutting off forest. You see where I'm going? Because we know, I mean, you know, our climate change and all that, our forests are the lungs. And if we keep cutting them, would you walk around without lungs? Of course not, you couldn't function. And that's what's happening to our planet. So eating vegetables instead of meat represents 3,000% decrease in cutting our forests. That same space that is used to grow, you know, for pastures for the livestock, as I was saying, that same space can create 3,000% more food. Imagine that. And then, you know, oh, I'm just going to put a note here because everybody says, oh, protein, protein, protein. Look, 19 years old, 19 years old, not anymore, 19 years of eating this way. If there were no proteins, I wouldn't be standing, right? So of course there are proteins, and I'm strong. I can lift 50-pound boxes, and you know, of course there are proteins, and there are proteins like the quinoa that has the 7 essential amino acids, the amaranth, the tofu. Of course there are proteins. Would that be enough of an incentive for you to stop eating animal product that I'm telling you all this? Is it enough? And if not, would you drastically cut your consumption of it? You know, it's so important. So think of it again. Start, if you don't cut it entirely, start reducing the consumption of animal products. So, back to nature, we're made of 70% of water. So I'm going back to the acidic alkaline now. 70% of water. What is the pH for water? 7.33. What is the ideal pH for the body? 7.33. That's the ideal pH. When you have that, and I've seen it, when you have that, you see the blood, you know, that has been extracted. Someone who eats living food, the red blood cells, they're dancing around. The ones who eat acidic forming food, they clump together, they're sluggish. So there you go, I'm bouncing around. But then someone who doesn't eat this way, eat more the acidic forming food, they're tired, they're fatigued. After a meal, it's like, oh, I need a nap. I don't need a nap. Dr. Jeff, yeah, I think that's the right way to say his name, recommends, if you're already in good health, we recommend eating at least 60% of alkaline forming foods. If your immune system is compromised or reacting to something, or your health needs to be restored in any way, we suggest an 80% alkalinizing diet to help calm your immune system and support your digestion. So I'll show you the chart, and then you'll see what he says is those food that are alkalinizing and that you must enjoy will become the cornerstone of your shopping list, the staples of your personal healthy eating plan. You will refer to this chart frequently and when creating your shopping list. That's why you have it on your fridge. I suggest you put it on your fridge. And lastly, I just want to say to finish and to put that image in your mind, think of it for a second. Do we gas up our plant and water our car? Of course not. So use your judgment when it comes to which food will cross your lips. This is your sanctuary. This is a very special place. It was given to you at birth. It will be with you until you die. It will serve you if you care for it. If you care for it, like, you know, it will serve you, believe me. So look forward to growing old. Not one thought in my mind like, oh my gosh, I wish I was 40. No, because I feel 40 in my 60s. So your body will love you and will reward you with limitless energy. Create your health destiny. It is in your hands. So now let me show you, I will share with you that chart I was telling you about. There we go. See? So it's very simple to use. As you can see, what Dr. Jaff says, consume less of what's acidic, consume more of what's alkaline. And as he was saying, if your health is not up to par, it's not in the best shape, then more alkaline. And you know, look where you are at in your life right now, whatever age you might be. What is a month in your life? I mean, in my case, after 3 months, all issues were resolved. But already in the first week of eating this way, I was able to close my hands. The swelling went down. The pain was starting to fade away. Only 1 week. If you do 21 days, it is known, it is said that 21 days, you set a new habit. If you do 30 days, it's a month. Let's do it a month. So you start today, which is March 15, in this case of presenting that what I'm doing now, but we know when it is that you're listening to it, at the day that you're listening to it, start that day. Start to eat this way. And then you'll see the difference is, oh my gosh, it's night and day. It happens right away. Think of it this way again, back to the aquarium. When you were changing the water in your aquarium, you've seen it, and it's clear water, it's not murky anymore. And then the fish, already were swimming better, feeling more alive. It's the same for us. All that, it doesn't take long for water to flush out what shouldn't be inside the body, for eliminating what shouldn't be in the body. When it has the fiber in the water and all that it needs to do that, it does that very quickly. The other thing I want to show you here is, there we go. That's the other page. So this is my website. It's called healingvegancuisine.com. And in there, I offer courses, of course, and you can say, I'm going to start with breakfast only. I mean, it's better to start with something than nothing. So you can just get the breakfast course and do that. But like I said, do you go to the gym for 2 days and believe that you should have muscles by then? And if not, you're going to quit? You won't have muscles in 2 days going to the gym. You have muscles because you keep going to the gym and you keep doing, the exercise in order to get the muscles. It's the same with food. You try something and don't tell me, oh, I've tried it and it didn't work. Well, if you did it for 2 days, it won't be a big change. Do it for 21 days minimum or a month. Do it. Do it for you. Do it for you. Do it for your life. We put money aside for our older days, right? Like, when we retire, or when to look after ourselves when we're older, we do that. So think of your saving account in your body. So if you eat well now, you're putting more and more reserves in your health account, and that will pay off. It will pay off. Imagine that you are going all the way to the day that you pass with maybe minor things because you're getting older, but nothing major. You can walk, you can think, you can have different activities. You can imagine you're a mother right now and you have a hard time running around with your kids because you ache and you are in pain. Imagine that disappeared, and then you're having a blast with your children. Imagine that you have a friend that you can go on for hikes and activities and whatnot, and you can because you're fit. You can. It's not like you need a walker or a cane, or you're in pain, or you're out of breath, or you're tired. Imagine your life. And like I said, the health solution is on your plate. It's just on your plate. That's your health is there on your plate every single day. I wish you the very best. I keep looking at the time here. I wish you the very best, and give it a try. I'm telling you, I walked the talk 19 years, and this has never failed on me. Every time it brings me the positive, the energy, the joy, and such an amazing legacy to leave to our children and our planet. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next week.